returns to Las Vegas. March 18th through April 14th at Caesar's Palace. All the hits. Elton John Las Vegas tickets on sale now at AXS.com. The Los Angeles Times calls it a spectacle. The Las Vegas Sun says brilliant showmanship. One epic masterpiece of musical entertainment. Elton John, the $1 Million Piano. March 18th through April 14th. Tickets on sale now at AXS.com. Don't miss Elton John, the $1 Million Piano, live in Las Vegas at Caesar's Palace.
American Ballet Theater returns to Segerstrom Center for the Arts in Costa Mesa March 3rd through 8th with the world premiere of a dazzling new production of the beloved fairy tale, The Sleeping Beauty. You'll enjoy ballet on a grand scale with superstar dancers, spectacular sets and costumes, and a thrilling live orchestra that only American Ballet Theater can deliver. Order your tickets today for The Sleeping Beauty at Segerstrom Center for the Arts in Costa Mesa. For tickets, visit scfta.org.
KNX's time, 7:55. Your traffic and weather together on the 5. Here's John.
We've had an earlier problem in the downtown slot, southbound side of the 110 at Olympic. We got a two-car crash blocking the number 1 lane. It's been slow for about Avenue 60, so that's affecting your Arroyo Seco Parkway drive as you make your way into downtown. Heading into the Burbank area, coming out of Palooka Lake 134 East at Forest Lawn. We've had a 3-car crash blocking the left lane. It's pretty slow. Getting away from about Pass Avenue on that eastbound 134. Let's go to Michael Bryan in Air 1070.
Just over Riverside, the 91 eastbound. That loads up here just at about Tyler. Looks like from Tyler, heavy into downtown to Central.
And speaking of downtown, we haven't talked much about the downtown commute. Southbound side of the 101, it looks solid red now, starting with the 170 portion from Oxnard. That's the valley portion of the Hollywood Freeway. And it just stays heavy all the way down. The Golden State southbound, unfortunately, as well from Sun Valley. It's tough all the way down into East LA. Traffic and weather together on the 5s. Our next report at 8:05 from your Southern California traffic leader, KNX 1070 and CBSLA.com.
Right now, downtown Los Angeles has 60. Make that 45 degrees. It'll be 60 a little bit later on today. 45 in Huntington Beach and Agoura Hills right now, 41. Should be mostly sunny today, as we said. Temps back to the 60s. Maybe a little bit warmer coming our way tomorrow.
The biggest month in professional tennis is March, and it's time to order your tickets for the 2015 BNP Paribas Open, featuring the world's best players. Call 800-999-1585 or order online at bnpparibasopen.com.
When you need kitchen or laundry appliance repair, visit myapplianceservice.com.
KNX News Time is 7:57.
Need something more powerful than any of us.
Avengers Age of Ultron star Robert Downey Jr., RDJ, has donated himself to charity. Actually, a date with him for the film's upcoming premiere here in Los Angeles.
Here's the deal. You donate $10 or more for a chance to win the RDJ experience. I correspondingly fly you and a friend out to LA, put you up in a 4-star hotel, and proceed to awesome the crap out of you.
I just love that. He's going to awesome the crap. I'm going to use that. I'm going to awesome the crap out of you.
Yeah.
And he could, I think. But I don't know if it's like a date with Iron Man or if it's a date with Robert Downey Jr. And like how close are those two? Either way, I don't care.
You're just there with him. He can make things happen.
He can. He's Iron Man. To enter, you can go to omaze.com. No limit on the number of entries. And unless, in case you were concerned about the whole, who's going to be on the fashion police on E! People has now confirmed that Khloe Kardashian is interested in replacing Kelly Osbourne since she's off because of all the controversy on the show.
Yeah.
Fashion police. KNX News Time, 7:58.
Hey, KNX listeners, this is Jim Thornton. Your transmission is one of the most important parts of your car. And with newer cars, you just can't tell if your transmission is the problem or not. If your car doesn't feel right or a service light is on, there's only one place to go. That's AMCO. I really trust these people. And for a limited time, mention KNX 1070 and the guys at AMCO will check your transmission for free. If your check engine light or any service light is on, AMCO will read and report the trouble codes to you at no cost. I mean, why pay someone to read trouble codes when AMCO will do it for free? And whatever that trouble code indicates, transmission or otherwise, AMCO can fix it for you. And I love this. If money is a little tight, they have easy payment plan options for almost any credit situation. Call the pros at 1-800-GO-AMCO or log on to amcosocal.com for the center nearest you. That's AAMCO. AMCO. Transmissions and a whole lot more.
Most vehicles may not be combined with any other offer. participating centers only.
KNX 1070 AM and HD, KAMP HD2 Los Angeles. KNX 1070 News Radio, broadcasting live from the Southern California BMW Newsroom. Test drive a BMW 7 Series, the driver's luxury car today.
Top stories now at 7:59.
Protests expected at the LA Police Commission over the deadly shooting of a homeless man by LA police officers. I'm Margaret Carrero at police headquarters.
Almost half the city council seats are up for grabs, as is potential control of the LA School Board, and these are just some of the issues on the LA City ballot. I'm Pete Demetrio.
Highly paid deputies are causing controversies on the West Hollywood City Council, ranging from favoritism to allegations of sexual affairs.
With Vicki Moore, I'm Dick Helton. Traffic and weather together on the 5s. And CBS News is coming up next here on KNX 1070 News Radio.
All news, all the time. Southern California's only all-news radio station.
It's 8 o'clock.
CBS News, I'm Stephen Portnoy, live at the Capitol, where Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is about to address a joint meeting of Congress. He'll urge American lawmakers to stand in the way of a nuclear deal with Iran, one that could be announced later this month. The speech here in D.C. is timed for the dinner hour in Israel, where Netanyahu hopes to hold on to power in elections 2 weeks from today. Security here at the Capitol is remarkably tight as demonstrators march outside. Above the House chamber, the galleries are packed like it's a State of the Union night. There are some empty seats on the floor. Close to 60 Democrats will boycott this highly anticipated speech. Tennessee Democrat Steve Cohen calls it a political stunt, and he has a warning for Netanyahu. Don't bite the hand speech. A new CBS News poll out today shows a marked increase in American support for Israel, with 51% calling the Jewish state an ally, up 10 points the past few years. I'm Stephen Portnoy, live at the Capitol. Now with more CBS News, here's Steve Kathan.
Well, also on Capitol Hill, CBS's Nancy Cordes tells us the House could vote today on a bill to fund the Homeland Security Department without provisions to undo President Obama's action on immigration.
Assuming this bill passes, this will bring an end to this fight over DHS funding, though the fight over President Obama's immigration plan will continue to rage.
Political tongues are wagging with the revelation that when she was Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton exclusively used a personal, not a government, email account. CBS's Margaret Brennan.
Hillary Clinton's spokesperson said she abided by the spirit and letter of the rules here at the State Department, and that some of the emails she sent from her personal account were kept on record because she was exchanging notes with State Department employees. They said she had every intention that these things would be kept on record.
Clinton turned over more than 50,000 emails a few months ago to government record keepers. Well, the experts have spoken on a nagging issue in one of this country's major cities. CBS's Jim Priscilla has more.
The odoriferous mystery in the Louisville, Kentucky area has been solved. Experts think they have sniffed out the source of a bad odor that has prompted scores of complaints for about a week. They believe the musty, mildew-like smell, similar to wet carpeting, is a naturally occurring bacteria in the ground called geosmin.
And officials say the chemical and smell was exacerbated by wet, muddy conditions after recent snow and rain. February was a month of nasty weather in a lot of places, but it didn't put the damper on auto sales. GM, Chrysler, Toyota, and Nissan reported increases. Ford sales were down. A new analysis is out on the world's most expensive cities.
Singapore is the most expensive, followed by Paris, then Oslo, Zurich, and then Sydney in Australia.
John Copestake with the London-based Economist Intelligence Unit says New York is the most expensive American city, number 22 on the list. Wall Street, the Dow is down 82 points. This is CBS News.
Protesters, police commissioners, and that Skid Row shooting.
Big day for important elections across Southern California today.
Good morning, I'm Dick Helton.
And I'm Vicki Moore. It's Tuesday, March 3rd. Here's what's happening at 8:03. Media crews are lined up outside LAPD headquarters, where the police commission will meet for the first time since officers shot and killed a homeless man on Skid Row. KNX 1070's Margaret Guerrero is there and joins us live.
The commission meeting gets underway at 9:30 with community leaders saying they'll march from Skid Row here to police headquarters protesting the deadly shooting of the man known only as Africa, and they'll call for criminal prosecution of the officers involved. There's said to be several videos of the encounter, with sources telling the LA Times an officer can be heard yelling, "He's got my gun," numerous times on video captured by body cameras. Former U.S. Attorney Jenny Durkin tells KNX there are still, though, a number of reasons why bringing charges against a police officer can prove difficult.
I think we have to look at at what the standard is when we do an investigation, but also who does the investigation to make sure that it's not only fair, but that it's perceived as being fair by the public.
She anticipates multiple reviews of the incident and says everyone needs to take a deep breath to allow all of the facts to come out. Live in downtown L.A., Margaret Carrero, KNX 1070 News Radio.
The shooting happened outside the Union Rescue Mission on Skid Row. The Reverend Andy Bales is the mission CEO, telling us that he has had encounters with that man called Africa.
I would just say the behavior was erratic. But again, a lot of that is the environment that is Skid Row.
He says the LAPD is asked to maintain peace in what he calls an impossible environment.
A lot of Southern California cities are holding elections today. KNX 1070's Pete Demetria reports live. A big question is how many people will turn out for LA's primary vote.
The people I spoke with were not aware of the primary election. Another good percentage said they tried to make it to the polls and they got off work on time. Then there was Cheryl, who had good intentions about voting but expressed some frustration about the election process as a whole.
I hate it because there's just, I don't know anything, you know?
You had a chance to read your sample ballot at all? Not at all.
Well, reading the sample ballot isn't easy to do. You know what I mean? If they would use 25 words or less and make it very clear instead of the yada yada blah blah blah.
Now, after the election, she says she does look forward to one thing, throwing the campaign literature into the trash or a paper shredder. In North Hollywood, I'm Pete Demetrio, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Let's check your downtown commute. KNX News Time 8:05.
Traffic and weather together on the 5s. Here's Jen.
You know, it's been a little quiet now. I haven't gotten a lot of calls. I'll get to the call that I just got in just a moment, but let's talk about our downtown commutes. You know, they're very typically slow. Nothing to write home about, just slow and sluggish. South 170, valley portion of the Hollywood Freeway from Oxnard, doing its typical thing, slammed into the Cahuenga Pass. You get a bit of a break, and then it loads up again right about, it looks like Hollywood Boulevard at this point, and it stays tough down to the 4 level. Southbound Golden State, well, you've got that. Oh, you know, it's just tough. Let's say coming down from the Newhall Pass even. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. So that's past the 405, past the 118. When you get to the 170 split, it'll open up just a little bit, then it gets heavy again as you make your way through Sun Valley, past Bob Hope Airport, and then it's just jammed then from Burbank all the way into the East LA interchange. If you're coming out of the valley, taking the 405 south, a pocket of slowing around Nordhoff. That's where a lot of folks take off, you know, they get off to go to CSUN there. It opens up, and then it loads up again just a little bit south before Victory Boulevard, staying heavy into the Sepulveda Pass. I was just on the phone with a man talking about the drive. I mentioned this in my last report. It was a 2-car crash, 91 westbound in the Paramount area at Paramount. He said they were just clearing the cars out of the carpool lane, and unfortunately it's pretty heavy coming out of the Cerritos area for that westbound 91. And the westbound 105, very tough this morning, getting away from the 605. You've got pockets of slowing. I call it the accordion effect all the way into LAX to give yourself lots of extra time. Traffic and weather to get on the 5s. Our next report at 8:15 from your Southern California traffic leader, KNX 1070 and CBSLA.com. I'm CBS 2 meteorologist Evelyn Taft, and this is your exclusive 5-day forecast, warming up and drying out for today. We're expecting 60s under partly cloudy skies for tomorrow, nothing but sunshine, 60s and 70s. As we head toward the end of the week and your weekend, we're expecting 80s, 70s and 80s with nothing but sunshine at least through your Sunday, and still staying pretty warm for Monday of next week. That's your 5-day forecast for the weekend. Always in sight here at KNX 1070 News Radio.
The temps today, right now, we have 45 degrees downtown, 47 Eagle Rock, and in Corona, currently it's 45.
No decision for now from the West Hollywood City Council on a scandal that's been swirling around their top aides. They voted last night to put off a study of revamping their support staff. Allegations of feuding, favoritism, and snooping on each other have recently surfaced, and some observers say it's made cooperation between staff members difficult.
There's this new video on Instagram. That's that illegal street race in Chatsworth that killed 2. Now the lawyer for or one of the people in that video says it does show her client, Henry Gavargian, who was not, as police claim, the man behind the wheel of the Mustang that slammed into the crowd of spectators. CBS 2 reporter Amber Lee says police are not yet agreeing with the conclusion.
With LAPD's Valley Traffic Division handling this case, and he tells me they had seen the video. They are still investigating this crash.
Now, Gavargian is one of the 2 people that police believe is responsible for the deaths. He's the only one that so far has been arrested.
Crisis counselors back at El Dorado High School in Placentia this morning for helping students deal with the suicide of their teacher, Jillian Jacobson, was found hanged in her classroom. Hundreds of people gathered for a vigil last night.
It's just like, why? What was going on in her head?
And that's the question. No word on a motive for that this morning. Again, allowing herself to be found in a classroom of students. Now, the big settlement announced between the government and a major bank over the mortgage meltdown. Frank Motek with your money next. KNX News Time 809.
If you're traveling between Westwood and the Valley, you can save up to 20 minutes each way with Metro's new Valley Westside Express. You'll fly through the Sepulveda Pass on the 405's new carpool lanes. Plan your trip now using the trip planner at metro.net.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Hi, I'm Frank Lima, President of United Firefighters of Los Angeles. The more than 3,000 brave members of our fire department strongly support Council Member Mitchell Englander. We have worked side by side to restore...
He's fun. I've worked with him in a couple different environments, and he's always so great.
So piece by piece, out today, we got the tour on sale beginning March 14th at livenation.com. And the LA show is August 19th at Staples Center.
Leader and innovator who's a proven champion for public safety. He's brought people and resources together to keep the city safe. And he's helped our firefighters get the tools we need to save lives. We urge you to join those who put their lives on the line and support Councilmember Mitchell Englander's voice for public safety and local government.
Paid for by Mitchell Englander for City Council 2015. More information at ethics.lacity.org.
KNX News I-10 Money News, here's Frank. Bank news here this morning. According to the Reuters news service, J.P. Morgan Chase is paying $50 million as part of a national settlement to compensate homeowners in bankruptcy over the use of robo-signing and other improper practices. The settlement includes cash payments, mortgage loan credits, and loan forgiveness to more than 25,000 homeowners, according to the Justice Department. Also, a big merger deal in the bank sector with Springleaf buying up One Main Financial. That's part of a Citigroup. This will be the biggest subprime lender in the country. The deal valued here at $4.25 billion. Right now, the Dow is slipping from all-time highs. We're down just about 100 points now. NASDAQ coming back down after achieving a 5,000 mark for the first time in 15 years yesterday. It's down 36 points now at 4972. And the S&P 500 now slipping from its all-time high, down 13 points. Money News, 10:40 past the hour. Frank Motek, KNX.
And Fernando Valley, your drive is next. KNX News Time, 8:11.
Hey, it's Randy, and I've got big news with some big changes. For example, Charter Business is now called Spectrum Business, and they're changing the game for businesses here in LA. With the new Spectrum Business Internet, your business will have unbelievably fast 60-meg internet, just $39.99 a month. And with the new Spectrum Business Voice, your business benefits from over 30 business calling features and unlimited long distance for only $29.99 a month for each line. That's double the phone features compared to the phone company. Best of all, Spectrum Business has no contracts to sign and no hidden fees or taxes. So when I say internet is $39.99 and phone is $29.99, the price you hear is the price you pay. No surprises. You want faster internet and more advanced phone for less? Don't wait. Call Spectrum Business today at 855-FAST-001. You'll increase your productivity and save money too. Get faster internet and advanced phone for less. Don't wait. Call 8.
And is doing a 2015 reading challenge. Let's hear it for Elise.
All right, Elise.
Hi.
So we got a watching challenge and a reading challenge happening at the same time here. So here's how it works, Elise. I'm going to ask you stereotypical guy questions. Ryan, Jill will ask you stereotypical girl questions. Best out of 3 wins. If we're still tied at the end, it's a regulation. We go to a not so tough tiebreaker question. Let us start with the ladies. Okay. According to a new Forbes list, what former professional athlete recently reached billionaire status, Elise? He's a billionaire.
Oh my gosh. Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, yeah, Michael Jordan. That was easy, I guess.
It's the Space Jam residuals.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Ryan, what Oscar-winning actor shocked fans by cutting off all of his hair yesterday for a role?
I don't know. Morgan Freeman.
No, Jared Leto.
For the Joker.
Current score, guys up. Current score, girls up 1-0. Here's your question, Elise.
Okay.
Joel McHale plays a character named Jeff Winger on what sitcom?
Oh my goodness. I have no idea. The Goldbergs? I don't know.
Community.
Ryan, who was the very first winner of American Idol?
It was Kelly Clarkson.
That's right.
You know what's so funny? He screamed it like 40-year-old virgin. Kelly Clarkson! All right, current score 1-1. Here's your question, Elise.
Okay.
Bill Clinton admitted to having an inappropriate relationship with what former White House intern?
Monica Lewinsky?
Why did we put that one in? Is that in the news or anything? Or
I was just curious to see if people remember her name.
Oh,
It's in the news because of his picture, his portrait. The artist put a little secret thing about Monica in there.
Wait, his portrait where? At the White House? So some portrait with Bill Clinton, there's a secret homage to Monica Lewinsky
The shadow of her dress. And now the Clintons know about it and they want to remove it.
She was at the Oscars.
What's that, Elise?
I guess she's still kind of a big deal because she was one of the guests on the red carpet at the Oscars.
Oh, was she really?
Yeah,
but you know what? Good for her. That girl went through so much, and the entire country made fun of her so much.
I wonder what color she saw the dress. Black and gold.
Don't.
Ryan, who's known as the Material Girl?
Madonna.
Thank you.
That's right.
All right. And one more. Don't. All right, that means we go to a not-so-tough tiebreaker question. Holler your name if you know the answer. Your name will be your buzzer. Wait until I finish asking the question before you buzz in. Who is Bill Clinton's wife?
Ryan.
Hillary.
That's correct, buddy. That's correct. May be announcing in April she's running for president. We'll see, but you got it. Battle of the Sexes Championship certificate. Download as a PDF, print it, and hang it on your wall with pride.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
You're awesome. Gonna check out Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga.
Nice.
Hollywood Bowl, May 31st. They're on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, Liz, thanks for playing. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no, not a problem. Thanks for having me.
You have a wonderful day and play again another day.
Thanks.
My FM traffic is next.
Soup plan.
Side of any, westbound commute is light during the morning. But the East 60 top from 7th all the way over to Fullerton. It's the West 60 that now has a new problem. I was just listening to the CHP scanner about it. 60 westbound coming out of the Brea area at Fullerton. We got a 3-car crash blocking the far right lane. That's just heavy coming out of Diamond Bar still. In fact, let's call it Chino. It's tough from Chino about Mountain stays tough all the way into Diamond Bar over to where the problem is at Fullerton. And then it kind of just stays kind of thick and slow all the way over towards the 605. Heading up into the valley quickly, northbound out of the 405, north 405 at Roscoe. Cars will run off the freeway over the side. South 405 slow from about the same vicinity, a little bit south of Roscoe, all the way into the Sepulveda Pass. Traffic and weather together on the 5s. Our next report at 8:25 from your Southern California traffic leader, KNX 1070 at CBSLA.com.
Mostly sunny today. Temps are going to be in the low to mid-60s across the area. Tomorrow, a little bit warmer, and into Thursday, Friday, Saturday as well. By Saturday, maybe up to around 80. Currently in East LA, it's 52. Anaheim has 49 degrees right now, and in Long Beach, it's 50 degrees. And this is Southern California's only all-news radio station, KNX 1070 News Radio. I'm Dick Hill.
And I'm Vicki Moore. Federal agents got busy raiding so-called maternity hotels throughout Southern California this morning. These are the places where pregnant women from other countries come and they pay to have their babies in the U.S. Agents executed 20 search warrants this morning. This was all over the place. Orange County, L.A. County, San Bernardino, aimed at the people, the ringleaders, if you will, who get these women the visas and then house them until they have their babies. The Fed's expected to talk more about these raids a little bit later today. We'll be on that for you. We've been talking a lot about the deadly street race in Chatsworth last week, and today the L.A. City Council may take up a plan that would allow cops to seize the cars of the drivers involved in serious injury or deadly hit-and-run crashes. Councilman Mitch Englander behind that one. L.A. County Board of Supervisors is going to take up the issue of hiring firefighters. There's been a lot of talk about nepotism and cheating on tests, so they're going to take up a plan today to create a computer-based system for testing and assessment. New York Times out with a report this morning saying General David Petraeus is close to a plea deal where he would plead guilty to spilling information that he wasn't supposed to. Benjamin Netanyahu talking to Congress this morning, getting a lot of applause there. We're going to talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes. And we're also talking about elections around Southern California today.
Very important election here in Los Angeles and throughout Southern California, but especially here in L.A. Because there are a couple of issues on the ballot today that could change the way elections are held here. As we all know, there's been very low turnout for most of the municipal elections for quite a number of years now. And so the idea would be, among other things, is to change the date of the L.A. City Council election, or actually just the L.A. election and the school board elections, into years where we had statewide and national elections to get a greater turnout. And so that's on the ballot along with a bunch of council elections as well.
Well, it is a very important election, and I think a lot of people do kind of blow off these primaries, but this is one that will change the face of the LA City Council. People who live in Los Angeles, we complain a lot about what happens and what doesn't happen, but this is where you get to speak because about half the council, those seats are up. Also some
Got school board elections happening
School board
as well.
elections as well. A lot of people complain about LAUSD. Well, today is your day to get out there and make a difference in terms of voting. We're going to talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes here on KNX. KNX News Time, 8:19.
When you need kitchen or laundry appliance repair, visit myapplianceservice.com.
Homeowners, interest rates are still at historic lows. Ditech is offering certain home loans at the incredibly low rate of 2.75%, 2.818 APR. Let Ditech put money back into your pocket. Call 800-795-2488 and ask about their $500 close-on-time pledge. Purchase your dream home, lower your rate, or get cash now. Turn these incredible low rates into an opportunity of a lifetime. Call 800-795-2488 for details, credit cost, and terms. That's 800-795-2488. Let Ditech put money back in your pocket today. Call now. 800-795-2488. Quoted rates assume $417,000 loan amount in your term. Primary residence. First lien. Minimum 740 credit score. 43% debt to income and 60% loan to value. Ditech Mortgage Corp. NMLS number 98161. Licensed by the Department of Business Oversight under the California Residential Mortgage Lenders Act and Finance Lenders Law. Equal housing lender. 800-795-2488. Call now. That's 800-795-2488. Or visit trust.ditech.com.
KNX gives me the best traffic report.
3 airplanes cover your drive.
And solutions to get me around the problem.
Traffic every 10 minutes on the 5.
KNX gets me home faster.
KNX 1070 News Radio.
KNX News Time 8:20. A little chippy for the Cliffs in Minnesota. Here's Randy Cardoon.
Clippers blew an 18-point first-half lead to actually trail at halftime to the worst team in the Western Conference. Ended up hanging on by their fingernails in the closing seconds to get the 110-105 win. However, it wasn't easy. Chris Paul has to use a timeout. What is Austin Rivers thinking about? Austin Rivers mixing it up with Kevin Garnett. They're going to call a double technical on Kevin Garnett and Austin Rivers. J.J. Redick even got a couple technicals and got tossed out of a game in that one. So, strange one, but the Clippers get the win. They'll go 3-1 on the road trip. James Harden will miss a game without pay after the Rockets game with Cleveland. You may remember that one. That's one where he was on the ground and basically kicked LeBron James right in the... That's right. Lakers tonight are at Charlotte. On the ice, Ducks skate at Arizona after making 4 trades yesterday before the deadline. The Kings will be at Edmonton. NFL teams using their franchise tags to keep a player. Denver used theirs on receiver Demaryius Thomas, not on Julius Thomas. And the Cowboys pinned theirs on Des Bryant, not on DeMarco Murray. Sports, 20 and 50 minutes past each hour. Randy Cardoon, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Dr. Charles Menger at Saddleback Eye Center introduces the all-new 3D WOW LASIK exam, the most advanced technology in the field of LASIK surgery. Dr. Menger will measure your eyes at 3D for the best crystal clear vision. And I'll give you a 3D LASIK exam to you and the first 14 callers only. So stand by, phone number is coming, so get your phone ready to dial. This new 3D LASIK exam and procedure are for people who are nearsighted, farsighted, you need reading glasses, or you have astigmatism. And Dr. Menger does 3D LASIK to give you the best vision. It's like comparing regular TV to high-definition TV. And it'll give most people better vision than what they have now with glasses or contacts. I'll give you a free 3D LASIK exam if you're one of the first 14 callers. Call 866-755-4444. 866-755-4444. 866-755-4444.
KNX News Time, 8:23. Whole lot of that for Benjamin Netanyahu in Congress this morning. Says something, gets applause. Says something, gets applause. Already says he regrets that the speech has been perceived as political. We're going to talk more about what he's saying in his speech coming up in just a few minutes.
He was, by the way, very complimentary of the president, who will not be meeting with him, however, while he's on this particular visit to the United States. Very important election going on here in Los Angeles today, and a number of, frankly, of municipal elections all around Southern California. But here in L.A., there is a chance to change the way elections are actually run here in Los Angeles, at least in terms of the timing for them. Fernando Guerra directs the Center for the Study of L.A., Los Angeles at Loyola Marymount University, but for the purposes of this interview, more importantly, he was the chair of the L.A. Election Reform Commission. Fernando, good morning to you. This is an important deal because the reality is, depending on what happens with these two amendments that are on the ballot today, we may move L.A. into a position where more people will actually take the time to vote.
That's actually correct. So today, we expect a turnout of 12% of registered voters, which equates to only 5% of the total population. and they will be making a decision in terms of who will rule LA and determine how money is spent on streets, sidewalks, transportation, et cetera, et cetera. And the second largest city is, that's just not democracy working. So Amendment 1 and Amendment 2 would change the elections from their current odd year, March and May, to the existing June and November elections where we vote for federal and state offices. There, you have a turnout as high as 70% usually during presidential elections, and we will, increase turnout or increase the number of people voting in LA elections by a tremendous amount.
I'm surprised that this hasn't been done before. I mean, what is the point of doing it this particular way?
Well, part of it is because it continues to see the decline in the percent of voters, and I think Mayor Eric Garcetti and the council in the last mayoral election in May of 2013, when the turnout was only 23%, I think many civic leaders and political leaders were embarrassed by that turnout. We had turnouts as high as 69% in the 1960s on the standalone elections. Standalone elections no longer work for a variety of reasons, and so they commissioned a panel of civic leaders, and I was the president of that commission, and we came up with this recommendation, gave it to the city council, and the city council voted to put it on the ballot. And many, many civic leaders and organizations such as the League of Women Voters, the League of Conservation Voters, etc., have endorsed this idea. It basically eliminates 4 elections and consolidates them with existing 4 elections. So Angelenos don't have to go out to vote 8 times in a 4-year cycle, but only 4 times.
All right, Fernando, we'll see how it plays out today. It's a very important part of the election process today. And, of course, a number of city council members are up for election. Several of them actually turned out, so they're brand new seats in the city council for somebody to take. And, of course, school board elections as well today. And a lot of this going all throughout Southern California today. So check it out. Make sure that if you have an opportunity to vote today, you go do it. KNX News Time 8:25. Let's update your traffic and weather together on the 5s. Brought to you by CarQuest. And here's Jen.
Well, from our last report, we've got 2 signalers now working. This first one, 91 westbound. Talked to trucker Ian, westbound 91 Lakewood. Oof, man, carpool 2 left blocked, 5 cars involved there. Huge delay for that 91 westbound, and in fact, the 105 is not a good working alternate for you. So I just would say get a jump on things. Really tough coming out of the Cerritos area. You can always choose Artesia Boulevard, La Palma, Orangethorpe. Those tend to work pretty well as alternates. All right. Also, second signalers, we've got the problem on the. I mentioned this. It was a car that had gone over the embankment. Apparently, it's an overturned car. They just issued the signaler for it just a moment ago. North 405 at Roscoe. We've got the 2 right lanes blocked there. Backup just starting to build southbound side of the 405. It's doing its typical thing from Sherman Way all the way into the Sepulveda Pass. So that signaler is about 30 for about 30 minutes. Eastbound side of the 134. Just looking at how heavy it is. I got a call from someone saying, "What's up with the Golden State?" I said, "There's nothing blocking lanes. It's just really heavy." And unfortunately, it's affected the eastbound side of the 134. That's heavy. Backed up onto the 101, and you know that drive. That's heavy out of basically Woodland Hills. So all the way across, maybe 25 miles of slowing there on that eastbound Ventura through Sherman Oaks all the way into Burbank. With over 800,000 parts and accessories available, whether you drive an import or domestic vehicle, you're sure to find exactly what you need at your nearest Southern California traffic leader, KNX 1070 and CBSLA.com.
The forecast today from CBS 2 and Evelyn Taft is for temps to be in the 60s under mostly sunny skies today. Tomorrow and Thursday, sunny and temps moving a little bit further into the 70s. And by the time we get to Friday and Saturday, it looks like we might be pushing 80. Currently, downtown Los Angeles has 53 degrees. It's 49 in Chatsworth. And in Downey right now, it's 57.
You know, oil prices have dropped in a big way. And gas prices have followed. But did you know that as a result, mortgage rates have come down too? They're now lower than they've been since June of 2013. So if you've closed a home loan in the last year and a half, make the cash call at 866-590-CASH for a lower rate. Like today's 15-year fixed refi at 2.875% rate and APR with no closing costs. You can probably save with a lower payment, pull tens of thousands out of your home, or maybe do both. And we can refinance you with no closing costs. None. Because at Cash Call, we are designed to save. So make the cash call at 866-590-CASH. That's 866-590-CASH.
Cash Call Inc., Equal Housing Lender. Call 866-900-8744 for terms and restrictions. Rates may change without notice. Department of Business Oversight, California Finance Lenders Law. law license number 6038780, NMLS number 38512.
That's 866-590-CASH. 866-590-CASH.
There's something better about traveling by an Amtrak train. You eliminate the traffic jams, highway congestion, and stopping for gas, and gain the freedom to move, to sleep, eat, and stretch out. Experience the better way, the railway. One-way fares from Los Angeles are as low as $35 to Fresno, $115 to Seattle, and $113 to Portland. Discounts for children and seniors available. Book now at Amtrak.com. Fares subject to availability. Routes, fares, and services subject to change without notice. Restrictions apply.
As an entrepreneur, you're always on the go. So turn your mobile phone into a business phone system with Grasshopper, the entrepreneur's phone system. Get a new business number or keep your current one. Sound professional with a main greeting and multiple extensions that forward callers to your mobile phone. You can even get voicemails transcribed. Join over 150,000 small businesses who stay connected with Grasshopper. See how it works at grasshopper.com, the entrepreneur's phone system.
Pechanga Resort and Casino is the biggest and best casino in California. Not only are the jackpots bigger, so are the slot machines. Experience the most slot machines and the biggest jackpots only at Pechanga Resort and Casino, just off the 50 in Temecula. Book your Pechanga experience at pechanga.com.
Where the News Watch never stops. Always live and local. This is KNX 1070 News Radio.
Good morning, I'm Dick Hope.
And I'm Vicki Moore. Some of our top stories.
Netanyahu addressing the Congress.
Plus the House on Homeland Security.
It's Tuesday, March 3rd. Here's what's happening at 8:30.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is speaking to a joint meeting of Congress this morning. He told lawmakers he is sorry his appearance was politically so controversial.
I deeply regret that some perceive my being here as political. That was never my intention. I want to thank you, Democrats and Republicans, for your common support for Israel, year after year, decade after decade.
The Prime Minister also praised President Obama, saying the president has supported Israel in many ways that are not widely known.
The House could vote today on a bill to fully fund the Homeland Security Department through the end of the budget year without immigration restrictions.
Behind closed doors, Speaker John Boehner tells fellow Republicans he's making the right decision for his team and for the country. Letting the Department of Homeland Security shut down is not an option, Boehner says.
CBS News congressional correspondent Steve Portnoy says the Speaker outlined the situation for rank-and-file Republicans this morning. There's opposition from conservatives who demanded that the measure roll back the president's executive order on immigration.
The head of the U.S. Central Command went before Congress this morning to give lawmakers an update on the war against ISIS.
ISIL is losing this fight, and I am certain that he will be defeated.
General Lloyd Austin outlined the successes of the U.S.-led air campaign so far.
Since commencing our air operations in early August, just 7 months ago, we've killed more than 8,500 ISIL fighters.
Austin said the group can no longer seize and hold new territory.
He has assumed a defensive crouch in Iraq.
General Austin admitted the group has expanded into northern Africa.
And in part because he knows that he's losing in Iraq and Syria, and he needs to find other ways to maintain his legitimacy.
Cammie McCormick, CBS News, the Pentagon.
In just about 30 minutes, the LA Police Commission will meet. First time they've met since a homeless man was shot by police officers on Skid Row over the weekend. Let's go live to KNX 1070's Margaret Carrero.
It's unclear whether the commissioners will outright address the deadly shooting, but they may be forced to, with about 100 protesters marching their way here right now from Skid Row. Some want to see the officers involved criminally prosecuted, but former U.S. Attorney Jenny Durkin tells KNX they need to be patient as the facts are sorted out.
To determine what are the facts here for each of the police officers that was involved, for the citizens who were standing nearby, and you have to give people time to do those investigations.
Sources tell the LA Times that video captured on body cameras worn by an officer and sergeant involved in that deadly confrontation does not show the man reaching for one of their weapons, but it does depict an officer repeatedly yelling, "He's got my gun." Live in downtown LA, Margaret Carrero, KNX 1070 News Radio.
City leaders in the St. Louis suburb of Ferguson are meeting today with Department of Justice officials. They're discussing a federal investigation of the police department stemming from the August shooting of an unarmed black 18-year-old by a white police officer. The officer is not expected to face federal civil rights charges.
Stocks are sliding from some record highs. Profit is being taken, and auto sales were disappointing. Here's Frank.
That's right. The Dow right now sliding 110 points. NASDAQ pulling back 42. The S&P 500 down 14. February auto sales coming in mostly disappointing. They've been fueled lately by lower fuel costs, and SUV and truck sales have been bouncing higher, but lately we've been seeing higher fuel costs, and that could be impacting the bottom line as well. Reporting live, Frank Motek, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Hillary Clinton's camp is denying a report that she violated federal